Yes everyone, it's your boy IQ MMA and I'm back again with another video. In this video, I'm going to be looking at the reasons why I believe China will become a dominant territory for developing elite level MMA fighters. The first thing I want to touch on is the talent pool. So as you can see here, China is it is the most populous country in the world, having a population of 1.398 billion. So basically 1.4 billion, people in China. So having a large talent pool is going to be good for China as a country, just because you're going to have more athletes to pick from and you're going to have a large talent pool. I'm going to compare China, the country, to Africa, the continent. So if you have a look at China, the country, sorry if it sounds basic, but a lot of people don't know that Africa isn't a country, it's a continent. You can see that Africa has 1.2, or it has a population of 1.2 billion. Okay, so comparing the two, Africa, a continent, has 1.2 billion. China, the country, has 1.3 billion. So, crazy how a country can have so many people. But when you look at Africa as a continent, there's one thing I just want to direct your attention to. You can have an area like West Africa. So specifically, I'm just going to look at Senegal here. And typically when you look at people from Senegal, so this is a stereotype, but typically when you look at people from Senegal, they're quite tall, they have wide frames, generally quite big people. And it's interesting when you contrast this to, let's say, somebody from East Africa. And when you have a look at a lot of elite athletes from East Africa, you can see that a lot of long distance runners come from this area. So from countries like Kenya, Ethiopia and Zimbabwe, you can see that generally their bone structure is a lot smaller compared to, let's say, someone from Senegal. And typically their genetics allow them to do well in events that require running for a long distance. So I believe that because China has such a large talent pool, you're going to have so many different types of people with a lot of different types of genetics. I believe that this is kind of a good thing, and there's just a lot of variation and a lot of room for talent. If anyone does have any specialist knowledge of China and the different areas of China, please comment down below. I'd be interested to find out if there are any particular regions of China where people are slightly taller or slightly shorter, if they're maybe known for their muscular strength or endurance. So please comment down below if you know. I'll be very interested to find out. And it just makes me think, like, a really popular Chinese athlete that I knew growing up, not personally, but I knew of, was Yao Ming. I believe Yao Ming was he's around 7 feet tall, and he competed in the NBA. So he was from Shanghai, but he competed in the NBA in America. And I suppose that's quite a big deal for somebody from China, being that the NBA is, like, it's really competitive to break into that league. And I just want you to think, like, imagine if Yao Ming actually competed in MMA, like, with the size of him, like, I believe he could have had a lot of success. Comment down below. What do you think of Yao Ming's potential MMA career? The second thing I wanted to touch on was the kind of idea of martial arts already in China. So one martial art I wanted to talk about was Tai Chi. So in this video here, it goes on to talk about sport in China and how the Chinese use martial arts for children in primary school and secondary school to help kind of develop them as people. So typically Tai Chi is associated with maintaining good balance, good posture, and this whole idea of mental calmness, this idea of Zen. And I believe that Tai Chi has some transfer over to MMA, not so much in a fighting standpoint, but more so of just as a person, having good balance, having good posture. I believe that's beneficial for MMA. However, more importantly, I believe that having the mental calmness, the calmness to compete under pressure, competing in front of a sold out arena. I believe that's a extremely relevant, transferable skill into MMA, and having the general population in China take part in Tai Chi from a young age can only be beneficial to prospective Chinese MMA fighters. The UFC have also invested $13 million into a performance institute there. So they have a big octagon there. They have specialist sports science equipment, and I believe this is a good advancement for MMA in China. Just due to the fact that you've got, the latest knowledge and equipment regarding sports science, recovery, exercise physiology, psychology, and nutrition. Also bringing coaches over to help develop the sport of MMA in China will also be beneficial to both the UFC from a business standpoint, being able to attract people from China's, vast population, and also just as a martial arts fan, I love to see advancements in MMA. I love to see the sport of MMA growing, and I suppose something that's quite important as well is how the sport of MMA can affect people's lives. The last thing I wanted to talk about was kind of the talent that China has produced in the UFC and the success that some of these athletes are having anyway. So we've got a guy here, his name is Li Jingliang, okay, and I believe he is ranked number 13 with Tapology. I think he's ranked number 12 with the UFC, and his career has gone well. He's been in the UFC since 2014, which is good because the UFC do like to drop people, and he's fought names such as Diego Lima. You've got Neil Magny, and probably his best name on his record so far, Santiago Ponzinibbio, who he knocked out with a left hook in the first round. So kudos to him. He's representing his country well, and I'm looking forward to see more success. We also have Jia Dong Song, okay, who has been in the UFC since 2017, and I don't think he's actually lost in the UFC. I think he's undefeated in the UFC right now, having first round finishes due to kind of submission. So he's got a submission finish here. He's got a finish via right cross. He recently fought and won against Marlon Vera, and I think I read an article a while back about this guy. I think he made his professional debut when he was 15 years old. And I think he got into the UFC when he was 19. He was the youngest UFC fighter on the roster at the time, I believe. So kudos to him as well, training at Top Team, training at Team Alpha Male, and looking forward to seeing more good things from him. And I suppose last but not least, you've got your champion in Weili Zhang, who has, done really well in her career. She's been undefeated since 2014. She's been extremely active. Yeah, an active fighter is a good fighter. So kudos to Weili. And yeah, she's ranked number 1 in the strawweight as a strawweight, and she's the champion right now. She's representing her country in good fashion. So let me know what you think. What do you think of Chinese MMA fighters? Do you think there's going to be, a big spell, a big kind of explosion of Chinese fighters coming onto the UFC and dominating? Do you think that I'm chatting was and that Chinese fighters are not going to have much of a success in the UFC. Please let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy IQ MMA, and I'm out. Oos.